back to my another video. You are watching now Sci-Fi Stories HFY YouTube channel. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon for my latest videos on my YouTube channel. Like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.
The war had been going badly for 3 standard cycles. Commander Vo of the Galactic Coalition stood before the holographic display, his 4 eyes scanning the red-blotched map of Sector 9. Every red mark represented a lost outpost, a fallen colony, a position overrun by the Kreth, a relentless, militaristic species that had been grinding through the Coalition's defensive lines like a blade through soft membrane. His aide, a young Lycian named Priel, floated nervously at his side. "Sir," Priel chirped, "the reinforcements have arrived. They've docked at Bay 7. Vethel didn't look up. "Which regiment? The Thon Heavy Infantry? The Cerulean Artillery Units?" Priel was quiet for a moment too long. Vethel finally turned. "Well, humans, sir." Priel's bioluminescent patches flickered with unmistakable anxiety. "They sent us humans." The commander's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, his species equivalent of a long, exhausted sigh. Humans. He had heard of them, of course. Everyone in the Coalition had. A young species, barely 200 years into interstellar contact. Biological oddities from a Class 4 Deathworld called Earth. Enthusiastic, loud, and, according to nearly every military assessment he had read, dangerously unpredictable. "How many?" he asked flatly. 312, sir. They call themselves the 78th Combined Arms Battalion. Veterans, apparently. Multiple campaigns listed on their service records." Priel hesitated again. "Their commanding officer is requesting a briefing." Vethel straightened his uniform. "Send her in." Major Elena Vasquez walked into the briefing room the way Vethel imagined a geological event might walk, with quiet, absolute certainty that it was about to change the landscape. She was shorter than he expected, compact, her dark hair pulled tight against her skull. Her uniform bore the marks of serious field use, not decorative wear, but actual service, with faded patches and a repaired tear along the left shoulder. She did not salute the alien way. She nodded once, sharply, and looked straight at him with those 2 small forward-facing predator eyes. "Commander Vethel." Her translator rendered her words smoothly. "Major Vasquez, 78th Combined Arms. I've reviewed your tactical situation on the transit over. You've been ceding ground on the Narith corridor for 6 weeks. With respect, sir, that needs to stop today." Vethel studied her. "You reviewed classified sector maps? Your aide sent them to my terminal during approach. I had 9 hours in transit. I used them." She stepped toward the holographic display without being invited and pointed to the deepest red zone, the area that 3 coalition generals had privately labeled the mouth. "The Kreth are funneling armor through this canyon passage. They're doing it because every time your forces set up a defensive perimeter here, or here," she tapped 3 points, "they hit the flank simultaneously and you collapse backward. Classic pressure funnel tactic. They've done it 11 times in 6 weeks." Vethel's mandibles tightened. She was correct. Precisely correct. "What are you proposing?" he asked, careful to keep his tone neutral. Vasquez smiled. It was a small, controlled expression, but something about it made Priel's bioluminescent patches go very dim. "We don't defend the canyon. We go into it. We give them the mouth, and then we close the throat." The Narith corridor was exactly as horrifying in person as it appeared on maps. Vethel had insisted on accompanying the forward observation team, not because protocol required it, but because some deep professional instinct told him he needed to see what the humans did when they fought. The canyon walls rose 40 meters on either side, black volcanic rock scarred by weapons fire. The smell was sharp and chemical, ruptured fuel cells and the particular metallic tang that came from Kreth energy weapons. Somewhere ahead, the low rhythmic percussion of their armored columns could be felt in the ground. The humans moved differently than any soldiers Vethel had commanded before. They moved low and quiet, yes, all trained soldiers learned that. But there was something else. A looseness in how they carried themselves, even in the presence of genuine danger. They made brief, clipped sounds to each other, jokes, Priel whispered, translating fragments. Jokes. In a war zone. Heading toward an enemy armored column 3 times their number. He watched one human, a large male with a shaved head and a scar running from ear to chin, pass a small wrapped food item to another soldier and receive a quiet laugh in return. The first soldier caught Vethel watching him. "Don't worry, Commander," the human said, grinning. "We've been in tighter spots." Vethel genuinely could not determine whether that was a comfort. The Kreth advance column rolled into the canyon mouth at 0340 hours. 12 armored crawlers. 84 infantry. Standard Kreth formation. Heavy armor at the front and flanks, infantry packed behind in tight support groups. It was the same formation they had used 11 times before. It had worked 11 times before. This time, it walked into something different. The first explosion came from above. Vethel walked through the canyon as the dust settled, medics moving among the fallen. He stopped beside Major Vasquez, who was standing at the edge of a blast crater, drinking something hot from a metal container. "You lost 4 soldiers," he said quietly. "Yes." Her voice was level, but her jaw tightened. "I know. I am sorry." She looked at him then, and for the first time he saw something behind the professional composure, not fragility but weight. The weight of someone who had been carrying things a very long time. "We don't do this because we don't understand loss, Commander," she said. "We do it because we do." He was quiet for a moment. Around them, the surviving members of the 78th were already doing the strange things humans did after combat. Embracing each other, speaking in low voices, some sitting alone in the rocks with their eyes closed. Grieving, he realized. Grieving and regrouping at the same time, seamlessly, as though the two had become the same motion. "The coalition generals classified your species as unpredictable," Vethel said. "I confess I used the same word myself this morning." Vasquez made a short sound that might have been amusement. "And now?" He considered carefully before he answered. "I believe," he said slowly, "that we were using the wrong word. You are not unpredictable. You are adaptive. There is a significant difference." She looked at him. "That might be the nicest thing a coalition officer has ever said about us." "Do not tell the generals," he replied. "I have a reputation to maintain." This time her laugh was real. But real. The Nerith corridor was green on the map again. All of it. Vethel submitted his official report to Coalition Command with a single supplementary recommendation attached. It was unusual enough that 3 admirals requested a personal explanation. His recommendation read, "In future engagements against adaptive adversaries, request immediate assignment of human combined arms units. Note, do not classify as support. Classify as primary. They have earned it." What he did not include in the report, because there were no military categories for it, was the memory of standing in a canyon full of dust and aftermath, next to a small, exhausted human woman who had just done the impossible, watching her soldiers take care of each other in the dark. He had commanded many species. He had witnessed many forms of courage. He had never, until that morning, watched a species grieve and fight and laugh and endure all at the same time, as naturally as breathing. Earth, he thought, was a very strange place to come from. He was deeply glad it was on their side.